So this is, running this time, how are you seeing the voters' uh, attitudes? I mean, the P and Z in particular. I've heard a lot of comments about concerns about uh, more public involvement and more, transparency, to use that word, et cetera, et cetera. What are you finding as you're sort of campaigning and taking the temperature of the town and the voters? Is it different than it was 4 years ago?
No, I mean, as I think about development, it's a really interesting question because the answer is I think it's been the same like since I've been growing up. And there's always, and what I mean by that is there's always a group of people that look, we moved here for a reason, right? And for almost all of us, right, it starts with the schools, but then there's also we like the town, right? It's idyllic, it's we love it here, and there's people that don't want to see that change, and then there's some people that do want to see some change and want to see some progress and change the downtown a bit. I think that's always been the case. Um, I think now, look, there's that building behind the library, which I don't think it's controversial to say is not the most aesthetically pleasing of buildings. I certainly don't like the way it looks. I think that's bringing it up to people's forefront in terms of what this actually means. I think the vast majority of residents are in favor of, I would say, smart development, and that doesn't mean a big building behind the library. That means in places where it's less obtrusive on people's eyes. It helps the grand list. So I think most people kind of fall in the middle there, but there are people on both ends that want one or the other.
What are you finding that people are saying specific to Board of Finance concerns in terms of tax increases, how the budget's being handled, what's happening at town hall? What are voters telling you when you go door to door about those things?
So I've been doing quite a bit of door knocking, and I actually find it to be a lot of fun. You get to meet people, kind of hear their concerns, hear what they're thinking about. There's been a couple key themes that have come up. So I became chairman 2 years ago, and I think some people have noticed that the culture on the Board of Finance has shifted a little bit since I become chairman towards collaboration. One person had said that like it's a positive thing is we don't always agree on everything. We have different views in the Board of Finance, and we hash it out. We always have a unanimous vote afterwards because we agree in the spirit of compromise that we all want the same thing. We want the same end goal, which is the betterment of Wilton. We find a way to get there. So that's one that people have brought up. The second thing I think is people have also discussed related to that, the collaboration with our partner boards, the Board of Education, the Board of Selectmen. Historically, I would say the boards acted in isolation, and that's not a criticism. That's just that's kind of how the charter is set up. We each do our own thing. I don't necessarily like that, right? I tend to think of this: we are one government trying to move forward, and we've got our different responsibilities. And so, one of the things that I try to do, when we could talk about the budget guidance process, is let's start the conversation earlier so we can partner with those other boards and address their concerns and their needs, and we can address our concerns and our needs. And so with the Board of Education, for example, right, they're starting their work earlier so that we can help them out and kind of share what we're thinking there and move it forward. I think people in Wilton have appreciated that we've gotten the tax results that they wanted while doing it in a way that is in collaboration with our friends and colleagues on the different boards. So that's a bit of what I'm hearing.